Hello bookworms, I'm Becca and today I'm going to be sharing my top 10 TBR books. There are probably, I don't even know, close to 100 if not more books on my TBR right now. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the majority of the books on my shelves are ones that I need to read. So most of the ones on my list are ones that have been on my TBR for a long time, and every time I see them on my shelf, I'm like, oh, I need to read that. Oh my gosh, I really want to get to this book so bad. The other ones on my shelves are ones that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to them eventually, you know. But these ones are like, I need to read them, but then I just don't for whatever reason. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge myself to read all 10 of these books this year. First up is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. I have a weird thing with Jack the Ripper. I'm convinced that Jack the Ripper and H.H. Holmes were the same person. Illuminati confirmed, I'm sure. This is like such a cool book, and there's already a second book out in this series, and there's going to be a third book, and I just think that it's a really unique series. It's basically a historical fiction-ish book about a girl that gets obsessed with Jack the Ripper, and I'm living for it, honestly. Next up is Carry On by Rowell. I loved Fangirl so much, but honestly my least favorite part of Fangirl was actually the fan fiction, but still I want to read Carry On and see how it is. I've heard wonderful things about it and I'm excited to read it. It's a hefty one, you know, and I need to actually get through it. Next on my list is The Girl in 6E by Torre. I heard about this book probably last year maybe, and it sounds really interesting to me. It's an adult thriller. That's really all I know about it. Next on my list is Slice of Cherry by Reeves. This book was so intriguing to me. I ended up getting it off of Thrift Books, probably. Yep, Thrift Books. And first I got it from the library and didn't read it. Actually, my friend Caitlin picked it out for me to read, and I didn't get to it. But it's about these two sisters that are the daughters of a serial killer, and then they start fantasizing about murder, and they go on a killing spree, and it starts like getting out of hand, and that just sounds amazing. Next is another one that I've had for quite a while, and it is All the Light We Cannot See by Doerr. I got this probably pretty close to when it first came out, and I heard amazing things on BookTube about it. Now the paperback is out, and it is so tiny compared to this huge book, and I just think that that is another interesting topic in and of itself. Like, why is the paperback so much slimmer than the hardcover sometimes? So weird. Anyway, this I believe is a historical fiction about a girl that is blind, and I think it is so cool, and it's probably really beautiful, and I absolutely need to read it, and I don't know why I haven't yet, probably because it's freaking huge. Next up is one that I've mentioned several times, and it is Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness, the second book in the All Souls trilogy. I loved the first book. It has a wonderful, amazing premise that I'm not going to get into because I've talked about it so many times, and I don't know why I haven't continued on with the second book, but I just haven't. Every time I talk about it, I'm like, maybe I'll pick it up this weekend, and then I think, no, I'm reading something else right now. All of those books just fell off my shelf, and now my neighbors hate me. Moving on, the next book on my list is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. I really enjoyed Cinder, but I think I waited too long between Cinder and Scarlet to actually pick Scarlet up because I'm having a hard time getting into it, but I know that I would like the series, so I really just need to read it. Next is Enchantress Returns, which is the second book in the Land of Stories series. This is a middle grade series by Colfer, yes, from Glee, and I really liked the Land of Stories because I love fairy tales, and I have almost all of the books in the series, but I have not read the second book yet, and I need to. Which brings us to Magic Study by Maria V. Snyder, the second book in the Poison Study series, and I need to read it. And this is Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing. It's her favorite series, so that's another reason why I need to read it. Also, I absolutely loved Poison Study so much, so I just need to read it. And the last book on my list is The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is just another one of those books that every time I see it on my shelf, I'm like, oh, I need to read it. Like, I need to read The Diviners so bad. Especially now that there's like a sequel and then the third book just came out. So yeah, I really need to get on this one. Those are my top 10 books that I need to read, and I'm challenging myself to read those books this year. So it's gonna happen. I can feel it. Let me know what 10 books are on your TBR down below in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below to see more bookish videos. That's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you tomorrow.